originally I'm thinking, oh, I just want to change. You know what I mean? It's like I never thought I'd be here. You know, playing Texas A&M, playing actually, but So I get to Kansas, and I wasn't quite the opportunity I wanted. I love the school, I love everything about it, but this is home, you know. So I came back, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that we get here.
It kind of sounds like another tight end that was here last year.
Yeah, I was at Kansas with Jace. We roomed together at fall camp my first year there. Yes.
What was that like? Because they really didn't use tight ends, and there were two of them that would wind up being Aggies.
No, we didn't do much there. We're more of a receivers there, and like Jace didn't even get that many opportunities there either, but worked out for both of us, I guess. Yeah.
So when you were growing up in Iowa, were you born and raised there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you come over the games at Kyle Field? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously y'all visited College Station.
You know, game days were always nuts here. You know, you're always like, oh, it's game day, you can't go to town. Like,
that's a good avoid.
Yeah, it's a little crazy here. But yeah, I know. Growing up, like he said, well, going back to Kansas, I'm from here, so tailgates here, game days here is a huge thing. I went to Kansas, and it's like basketball. Like, the basketball thing is just weird to me.
Was it a pipe dream to play here when you were in high school?
Oh yeah, of course. But like the other day before maybe Ole Miss, but I was thinking, wow, senior year, I didn't think I'd be here. You know what I mean? But it worked out.
Do you expect an increased role this week against UTSA, or?
I don't know. It's more of a coach's thing, but I'm going to be ready for a role. I'm going to be ready to do my job, everything they ask me to do.
Give us an inside look on the Jalen Weidemeyer development and progress his first year.
Oh, well, coming into camp, he wasn't, you know, probably himself, he wasn't expecting to get this role because Cup was here. We had a couple older guys. But he's improved every week. It's great to see it, you know, because beginning of the year, you can see him, like, sort of finding his feet out there. But now he's stepping up, he's making plays, and he's understanding what we're trying to do on offense.
So a few of us know a little bit about Iowa football and everything. So is the town really excited? I mean, your family, friends, and everything, I think it's pretty cool that you're now playing not far away.
Yes, sir. They're always reaching out and stuff whenever they see me on. I get a bunch of Facebook tags and stuff whenever they see me in an interview or something like this. But it's pretty exciting, yes, sir.
Did you ever get to know Chris Anderson at all? Did you ever meet him along the way?
Yeah, I've met him. He's the only big name from Iowa, really.
Right? Yeah.
Are you going to get some tats to keep up with him?
I don't know about that. I'm not a big tat guy.
You mentioned rooming with Jay Sternberger, but how much did Trevor Wood help you kind of in the role that you have with the team now?
Trevor's a good friend. Trevor, he's a good guy to look up to because he didn't necessarily get the opportunities he might have wanted last season, but he was always working hard, always had his head down. He's always doing his job and everything he did.
So how do you become a good blocker? How does one become a good blocker?
You just got to be tough. You just got to be tough and know what you're trying to do each and every play and like putting your head on things.
So are you at the point now you're going to start demanding the ball? It's about time to throw some passes?
Well, I don't think I'm at the point where I can make any demands, but yeah.
Where do you have room for improvement yet? Where can you get better?
Oh, I can get better in all areas. You know, you're always, as a full player, you're always trying to get better in all areas, and just every day is an opportunity to get better. Yes, sir.
How much fun is it, kind of the rise of the Brazos Valley kids with you and Devin Morris last year?
Oh, it's pretty great seeing us come up because, you know, the Eagle and everything's covered us all the way through high school, and we're still covering us, and it's good to be out there.
It's awesome. You know, the more kickoffs I can get in the game, less punts is better for our team, you know. It's kind of like a bittersweet getting the punt because we don't want to punt, obviously, but then I get to go out and try to pin them as deep as I can. But only having 3 in a game is great. Scoring, 49 points, lots of action on kickoffs and holding, so I'd much rather have that kind of a game.
Why is the punt coverage better since the old
I just think, first of all, my hang time has gotten a lot better. I tweaked a few things in order to get my hang time a bit better so we can cover it easier. But secondly, those guys have just been covering their tails off, and we really drove it home to make it a point, especially on punt as well as kickoff cover, to get down there with your hair on fire and cover every play that gets your last.
On the kickoffs, can you kick it into the end zone and out or further anytime you want to, or does sometimes you kick it not as deep to make them return it?
Most of the time it's because of just kind of a windy situation. So Kyle's pretty weird. So normally my touchbacks this year have been towards the north end of Kyle Field. That's why most of my touchbacks come. And that's just because the wind kind of comes in at Kyle in that one little section of the south end. So it comes down and flows all the way down the field. And so most of my touchbacks be that way. But I can hit it against the wind I got to hit it deeper, honestly, because our deep, it's like a left deep left call, and so I'm just trying to hit as deep as I can. So I just try to hit as deep as I can with whatever wind I got.
The way you've pinned them these past couple weeks, is this as good as you've ever felt punting?
In regards to the pinning part, yes, definitely. That's what I made sure to work on a lot this offseason, is kind of pinning them deep. And I had a lot of those punts last year and just had quite a few touchbacks. And I've had only 2 touchbacks, I think, this year, which is huge for us in terms of field position. Putting them more on like the 10, the 7, the 12, somewhere around there, instead of the 20 so many times.
You talked about tweaking the hang time. So you're getting more hang time than ever before, or how's that going?
In practice this week, he was definitely the most consistent, and then this game was probably the just most consistent high hang time we've gotten.
Is that something that bothered you, that you lead the nation in punting, yet A&M's at the bottom and punt return allowed? Is that something that you really tried to do your part to fix?
Definitely, and that's a lot of that is on the punter. A lot of people around the country kind of blame punt teams or whatever, or, the coverage unit, but a lot of times it's about placement and hang. The best punters in the country are the ones that are going to hang it up high and have like a 45-yard net average that just kind of hang up and they'll fair catch a lot. So a lot of the best punters in the country right now have the most fair catches. So that's something I would kind of work on more.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because, like you said, you gave us some plays, but you got some really big turnovers and key moments. So it's a lot that you got to look at on tape. See the stuff that you messed up on, and try to fine tune. Because thinking about it throughout the game, we was like, okay, there was some of the big runs we gave up. Some guys were just misaligned, maybe missed a tackle in the hole. So we just got to just find some fine tuning in that area. And then build on the turnovers. Become more ball disruptive defensive players, and build on that for the season.
How big was it for both the offense and defense to kind of click at the same time? You guys forced the turnovers, and they held up their end by scoring points in all of them.
I feel like it was as close to like a complete game from both sides as you can get at this point as a season, because like we said, the offense, they made some big time plays. Kellen was tremendous. Receivers did great. We protected them very well, running backs, the whole offense. And then, we was able to get some key stops and some big moments, get some turnovers. And it really looked good, and it felt good to, kind of be on the same level of things and try to be on the same page as the team.
What are you seeing in the run game? It's the first 2 games that Elko's given up 200 plus on the ground in regulation since he's gotten here. These last 2 games, how do you clean that up?
Just clean that up with just being very sound and disciplined in what we're trying to do. Like I said, I feel like if I'm not mistaken, one of them, from my memory, was a missed tackle in the hole, and then he got Kylan Hill got loose. A couple other ones, just probably overran some things. So it's not no schematics. It's just having to make the play when you need to make the play. So we just have to look at it on film and accept criticism, but also feedback, and create some fine tuning, and just focus on what we can control. And there's stuff we can control.
Do you ever look at it and just say, well, sometimes the other guy's just really good and he makes a play, or can you afford to even think of it that way?
You have to give people credit, because there are great players out here too. Colin Hill last week, great player. He made some tough runs. He earned his yards. So you definitely look at it on tape and be like, okay, all right, he's a great player. He's some people are going to make plays, but you also can't use that as excuse, for your lack of ability to stop someone. So it's a fine line between that, but we still have to control and try and just build off of who we are, and do what we can do.
When you jump out to a big lead like you guys did, especially at the half, is it easier to kind of lose focus a little bit in the second half?
Yes, it is. Just because of sometimes youth can play a part, because we've been in some dogfights throughout the duration of the year, and it's always just trying to come back in and figure out what's going on, what can we fix. But then when you're up by a lot of points, naturally you're going to try to relax. But we have to do a better job, not only as just teammates, but leaders, like myself, as trying to encourage everyone at halftime day. We're still in it. This team's gonna come out throwing punches. They're very resilient. We have to keep building and try to be the team we want to be. So that's a collective effort. It's expected, but we have to try to limit that as much as possible.
I think it was good for our confidence and good for our team, because we just keep talking about stacking wins on wins on wins. And at the end of the day, we just got to keep working to get better.
Do you feel the momentum right now?
I definitely feel the momentum. I think guys are, buying in, and, Coach Fisher's, doing a great job of, making sure we're not losing, track of the big picture. And I think guys buying in, and we're good.
Has the light gone on? Has there been a moment where all of a sudden, yeah, you see a noticeable improvement in practice on the field?
Most definitely. I think the last couple of weeks have been some of our best practices, and I think we just got to continue to keep doing that and keep progressing with it.
How key were those turnovers, and then for your offense to be able to turn all the turnovers into touchdowns?
That was huge, like I was saying, just forcing our will on them, and I think that, that was great for us because in games and times there were times where we'll get turnovers and offense won't score, or offense will score and they'll need a turnover and we won't. I think that was good for us because we played as a team and we just have to continue to do that.
Buddy, are the big plays in the running game, is that something that is a big concern, or do y'all feel like that you're handling it most of the time, so it's not something that's too worrisome?
It's a big concern because we have high expectations and high standards, but at the same time, it's something small that we can fix, and I know we'll be just fine. We just got to get more sound and executing with it.
UTSA, obviously not a SEC opponent, but how important is it to continue to maybe have a dominating performance like you had and get the win this weekend?
I think it's very important. I'm sure Coach Fisher will tell you lose a game and find out if it's not an important game. It's very important for us to dominate and just come out and play and have fun. That's what it's all about. I think guys will be excited and fired up like we're playing anybody else. So we'll be going.
Do you like having a non-conference opponent right in the middle of the SEC season?
I'm not sure. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm sure it doesn't matter to a lot of guys on this team. I just know that this is the next team in a way of what we're trying to get accomplished.
How do you like that linebacker development? How are you seeing it progress? Not just, there have been times where a lot of times you're rolling out two guys and playing them the entire game, but you're starting to see now this year more guys emerging.
I think the linebacker room, there's guys in there that can make plays. You have Anthony Hines. Aaron Hansford's doing a great job. He's very athletic and, making great plays for us. Andre White, he's a freshman. At times, there was a time like earlier where, he was kind of lost. And I think he's getting settled in and getting more comfortable. And he's starting to play at a high level. It's because in practice, he's actually working hard and buying in. He's just got to continue to keep doing it. And, B. White, he's very smart. He knows all his plays. He's physical. He can get out there and do it too. We have guys just all in the linebacker room that can make plays.
How'd you feel Sunday morning?
Pretty much the same way after every game. Sore.
Yeah, it seemed like you might have been particularly sore after that game.
Yeah, just kind of every game, no matter what. If you take 10 hits, one hit, you pretty much sore every time. So pretty routine.
How do you stay in there especially in a game like Mississippi State, and they were blitzing you sometimes 3 or 4 guys coming at you, and not get rattled?
I say it all the time. It's a sport that I play, and I'm always prepared for it. So a lot of the time, seeing it in the game, something that we read multiple times in practice. So just trusting my eyes and just getting the ball out quick was something that was part of the game plan.
And one more thing for me. Kendrick Rogers, he struggled a couple of games. I think it was the Alabama and Arkansas game, and but y'all have come back with him. Did you ever lose any confidence in him or anything like that?
Nah, he's battled injuries before, but just his will to continue to go out and play, and these 2 past weeks, he's had really good weeks of practice, and it's pretty much staying consistent, and you see it translate into the game. So I know that's a big confidence builder for him too.
A lot of laughs after the game about the shoe stealing incident.
A little bit.
Did you realize it was gone, or like?
Nah, I knew it was gone, and I was walking over to pick it up, and he just ran off with it, and so I don't know.
So I guess he never. Not that y'all talked about it, but did you ever find out why he did that? Did he say or anything along those lines?
Nah, I never talked to him after.
Okay.
In the moment, did he say anything like?
No, I was trying to talk to them, but the rest were kind of backing everybody up. So.
Kind of a weird deal, huh?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what he was thinking.
You ever had somebody take your shoe before?
Never.
Anything other than a shoe?
Took my sleeve off. He kept one of my sleeves in high school. Yeah, so I don't know why, but.
Next time you just make him miss, right? Score and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I guess so. That would have been better.
What did you see from yourself in that game? Obviously, no turnovers, 5 touchdowns. Were you just feeling good? I know you gave
Coach Fisher a lot of credit for the play calls, but what about from your perspective?
Just pretty much trusting my eyes, and you know, we kind of ran some versatile stuff, and you know, but just base stuff in our playbook that you know, everybody can just go out and react and you know, play ball. So you know, I was getting the ball out of my hands pretty quick, and you know, I'm not sure if I got sacked. I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't get sacked. So just getting the ball out of my hands quick, and you know, trusting my offensive line and my receivers and their route running. So I felt clean.
Kellen, y'all started to really kind of take off after the Ole Miss game last year. Do you feel like, do you have a sense that you're in a kind of a similar place right now?
You know, I feel really good where we're at, and even in some of the losses this year, you know, you see, you know, flashes of what this team can be. So just kind of trying to be a little bit more consistent each and every week, and you know, but I feel like we're in you know, the right direction and being more consistent.
What are you hoping to see from this offense this week against UTSA that you guys continue to get there?
Just like I talked about, just continue to be consistent, and you know, it doesn't really matter who we're playing. We always want to impose our will onto others. So you know, we're gonna have a good week of preparation and pretty much go in there Saturday and you know, play our best.